Happy New Year, bandits. This is your host, Ramil Ryan of The Hat Show. We are kicking off the 2026 New Year with the new 2026 gambling tax laws. I know some of you have asked me last month on how will that affect you, or trying to understand some of the new changes for the tax law. So one of the biggest changes to that is the new threshold of jackpot has been increased to $2,000 for slot machines. So with that, previously last year for federal reporting, it was $1,200. So if you win anything above $1,200, you got a W-2G, which is reported into the IRS. Now, the new threshold as of, and today is the 3rd, as of January 1st, is $2,000. That's pretty significant, especially for a person like me. I looked at some of my data, and nearly averaging about 60% of my jackpots are below that $2,000 threshold. Before I go on, let me just make sure I have the chat comment open, just in case you guys have any questions. So that's what we're pretty much discussing, is the two significant changes in regards to the gambling tax laws for 2026. So with that was part of the One Big Beautiful Act that was passed. And as I mentioned, it took effect January 1, 2026. Again, that's for slot machine, going to $2,000 from $1,200. So that makes a big difference, because that is your, taxable income. As I mentioned, 60% of my wins are below that, with some of it being just $1,200, and I average about $1,500 as far as jackpot. So looking at last year, I had 4 jackpots in Vegas below that. So with that said, pretty much those are just non-taxable income. As far as in Oklahoma, 60% of take that back. 64% of my jackpot was below that 2,000 threshold, or 27 jackpots out of the 42 that I won were below that. That makes significant incomes. One, for your taxable income, depending on your tax bracket, it does increase it or decrease with the new $2,000 threshold. In 2024, same thing, roughly about 6% in Vegas. 60% of my wins were below the 2,000 threshold. That's 6 out of the 10 that I won in Vegas. And as far as Oklahoma, that was 61%. Roughly 48 of my jackpots were below the 2,000 threshold. So that makes a significant as far as reporting. The other biggest change is the 90% deductible winning, as far as your deductibles being capped at 90%. So with that, one good example is that if you win $100,000 and you lose $100,000, in the past you could write off up to your winnings. So if you lose 120 and you gain $100,000, you're pretty much at zero. You can't claim the other $20,000. Now, if you win $100,000 and you lose $100,000, you will get tax on the $10,000. And again, not the full $10,000, depending on your bracket, taxable bracket. So if you have 30%, you'll have to pay $3,000 on that, what the IRS is calling phantom income. So again, let's break that down. So if you win $100,000, as I mentioned in the past, you could write off up to dollar per dollar $100,000 of your loss. Now, more reason to walk away once you win is that if you win $100,000 and you lose $100,000, you'll still end up paying on your taxable income of $10,000, depending on your bracket, not the full $10,000. But again, if you're at 24% tax bracket, you're going to be paying $2,400 on that $10,000 taxable income. If you're at 37%, again, if you're at 37%, you'd be gambling over $500,000. So if you're at 37%, that's a significant taxable income for you. So more reasons to walk away. I'll share this, and again, the rules are pretty simple to look up. You could Google it, and you'll have more information on the new tax laws for gambling for 2026. You got to keep a good record. For those of you guys that subscribe, I'll post the spreadsheet that I use to track all my winnings, including the time and date, so you guys can have a good example on what's your lucky day that you guys want to play. And these are all just probability of winning, and that's what I do. I track all my jackpots as far as the probability of winning on certain days. Let me share this screen with you guys. So as I mentioned, you guys can look up the new tax laws as of January 1st from the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. The cap on deductible is at 90% of your winnings, an increase on the tax reporting threshold for slot machine jackpots. It gives you an example right here. Previously, gamblers could deduct 100% of their losses up to the amount of their winnings. So I reviewed that earlier. As I mentioned, you win $100,000, you lose $100,000, you could write off your winnings. But this year, only 90%. So more reasons to walk away once you win. There is a push to reverse that. So there's a Fair Bet Act that's going on right now. The new 90% deduction cap has faced significant criticism from the gaming industry and lawmakers from both parties, with several bills, such as the Fair Bet Act, introduced in Congress to repeal the 90%. But as of now, I want you to make sure that once you win, you walk away, because you'll have a significant tax bill if you keep playing and you're above that 100, 200,000 threshold. So one of the questions was for taxes, what do you use to track your money in and money out, since a win-loss statement aren't supposed to be sufficient? Correct. Actually, and Keith says, a subscriber, I do have a spreadsheet. I will post that spreadsheet and also go over how I track that. One of the things, let me stop sharing the screen right here. One of the things that I also do is I have a markers from all the casinos. So actually, take that back. Most of the casinos that I play, all the casinos, I go to Vegas, I have a marker. I use that to withdraw my money. It's much more easier to track as far as reporting losses, because sometimes you'll win multiple jackpots, and then from there, that W2G will report those jackpots. So if you win 6,000, 12,000, and again, the new threshold is 2,000, and if you win 2,000, that's $20,000, and you end up coming home with $3,000. You have to show your losses either by creating a spreadsheet that this is what you walked away with, or you could show as far as what your deposit is for that day and or withdrawal. So with me, I keep track of my losses through my ATM withdrawals. one of the I had a follower in Oregon, and I had mentioned to her that for you to show some losses, keep track of your ATM withdrawals from the casino, and or as I mentioned, if you have casino markers, that's one way to track some of your losses. So hopefully that helps. And again, I'm not a tax accountant. I'm not a professional tax accountant. So talk to your CPA. This is something that I just do on my own. And this is my CPA pretty much compliments me on how much record tracking that I do as far as spreadsheet. I track all my jackpots from Vegas to anywhere I go. And every time I get a W2G, I'll load it into the spreadsheet. So for those of you guys that subscribe, I'll load that into Facebook. I'm just trying to find a way to post that, and I think to the subscription page. And I'll do a video on how to track that also. So hopefully that helps. Again, save your ATM receipts or your bank statements when you do a withdrawal at the casino, and or if you take out a marker, or you could create a spreadsheet as far as showing what you won versus what you took home. And same thing, you'll record some of your deposit slips as far as this is what you walked away with. So that's one way to keep track your win-loss statement. So going back to the potential reversal. So as of right now, that's the law. You want to make sure that you're aware that you can only deduct 90% of your losses. For some of you guys, you go over your wins, you take out some more money and you ended up above your losses. So you can't deduct any of that at all. One of the questions I've gotten in the past also is, what if it win $10,000 and you don't gamble? Pretty much, yeah, that's your $10,000 reporting income. So with that said, depending on your tax bracket, again, that's what the amount you'll pay from the $10,000. So if your tax bracket is 32%, you'll end up paying $3,200 on the federal level. And if you guys are, if your state, the taxes on your winning, like Oklahoma, which is 5%, California, depending again on your threshold, could be as much as 12%, and Nevada it's 0. So depending on when you play, gotta make sure you guys are aware of the state income tax also when you guys are reporting that. So again, hopefully that helps. There's a lot of articles that's out there right now, but as mentioned, those are the two biggest changes for the gambling tax laws. Is one, the new threshold for slot machine is up from $1,200 to $2,000. And as far as the deductible that you guys can claim for this year, 2026, that's why I start tracking it now, is up to 90%. So for me, 2024, nearly 60% of my win is below that threshold. So that reduces my taxable income. I don't have to, it's not reported as far as anything below $2,000. Same thing for this year, nearly 64% of my W2Gs were below the $2,000 threshold. The same thing applies. You only get a W2G, anything above $2,000. For the table games, it's still the same. It's $5,000. So if you're playing poker, you're playing blackjack, anything you win $5,000, you will get a W2G. So there you go. I appreciate you guys' time. Hopefully that helps. On Monday, I'll go over the data if you're a subscriber for January. Tomorrow, Choctaw, it's the I think it's the jackpot reunion. We'll be there roughly, probably about 11 o'clock. Yep. And then, as I mentioned, on Monday, data dump for January 2026. Just FYI, I did not do fairly well in January the last 2 years. So just forecasting for you guys, be aware when you guys are gonna play. I'll probably try to stay off from the casino most of this month, but we'll, as I mentioned, we'll go over that data. So if you want to play, what's your probability of winning for January, week to week? Appreciate you guys' support. If you guys have any questions, you guys can post in the comments. Once I'm off live, I'll try to answer as much as I can. And if you guys need a CPA, post in the comments. I'll send you guys my CPA. My CPA is in Las Vegas. So with that, he's aware of all the gambling laws. He's the CPA he's the tax guy for a lot of the World Series of Poker players, and that's how I met him. When I'm in Vegas, I play a lot more poker than slots. All right, bandits, appreciate you guys' support. Happy New Year, good luck, and again, new changes, new threshold. Some of you guys are sending me messages already. The guys are happy that you are not getting a WTG anything below $2,000. Walk away, walk away, walk away. As soon as you win, you got to have a goal of the amount that you guys want to win. Once you have that, walk away. Happy New Year. Good luck. Thank you.